Good morning, lovelies. Today we are going to ask and answer the question, what is the difference between industry writers and indie writers? This is something that almost every single modern day writer has to ask themselves because now they are both very viable career options, and what works for some people may not work for you. Now, I had already filmed this video in my apartment as per usual with my regular camera, and then I went back to review it and edit it, and it sucked because apparently I still don't know how to operate a camera. But I still wanted you guys to have some sort of content for the weekend, so I just grabbed what I had on me, the old camera that I used to use, and I'm filming this in my parents' house because it's the day after Thanksgiving and this is where I'm spending my weekend. Also, if you hear weird noises behind me, that's the parents' dog. Marble, come here. Hello. Who's a good girl? Yes, you are. You want to help me film a video? Also, I did not bring my contact lenses, so we're dealing with my glasses, but I can't take them off because I cannot see the screen in front of me without them. So, whee! This is gonna be fun. Alright, what is an industry writer? Industry writers are also called traditionally published writers because they're writing through a traditional publishing house. They're kind of what everyone thinks of when they hear the word author or writer. If a writer has a literary agent and at least one signed contract with a publishing company, then they are probably an industry writer. Now, there are a lot of advantages of this type of writing. You get an advance payment from the publisher, for one. You have an entire team of editors and agents who are working to improve your manuscript. The publisher creates the cover and the product itself, and you don't have to pay a dime for any of it. For a long time, traditional publishing was the only way that you could get a story in front of readers and make money. But then the internet happened, and that's no longer the case. So the next question to ask is, what are indie writers? Indie writers do not go with traditional publishing houses. Honestly, there are two types of indie writers. The first type is the self-published writers. These crazy people do everything. They do every single process of creating and publishing the book themselves. They find and hire freelance editors, they find cover artists or even design the cover themselves, they publish, they sell. It has gotten a lot easier over the years to do all of this and make a profit from it, which is why a lot of very successful writers are actually self-published. They've never signed on with a traditional publishing house. And there are a lot of advantages to doing it this way too, namely total creative control. Rather than having to fight the editors and the agents and the publishers on what goes in or out of your story, you decide. And the other advantage is you get 100% of the royalties rather than just a little piece of it. The other type of indie writer are the writers of small publishing houses. Rather than like the big five or going with more mainstream publishers, they go with small indie presses. These small publishers are often too small to offer much in the way of royalties or advances. A lot of times they can only offer a few $100s for an advance or only offer a portion of the royalties. But like with the bigger publishing houses, they will cover all of the costs of the cover design and the editing and the actual creation of the book. Technically, these types of indie writers are hybrid writers. So what is hybrid writing? Some writers are both self-published and traditionally published. A common strategy is to self-publish their first few books, and then once they have a following going, then they approach the traditional publishers with their new manuscript and they can negotiate, and they're coming at them from a position of power basically. Or they will traditionally publish some stuff, but then they have this one project that the editors and the agents are just like, this is too weird, we gotta change it too much, and they're just like, fuck it, I will self-publish this on my own, and they do that. Or they will traditionally publish their novels, but they will self-publish a bunch of short stories and novellas, again for like marketing, to get a following going, just for fun, whatever. And hey, it's all good. Different things work for different people. I tried the self-publishing thing and it did not work for me. But now I have a contract with a traditional publishing house. Citadel comes out in June 2023, but Blackstone Publishing is small enough that I'm still kind of considered indie, at least by some people. So like, there's no clear-cut lines here anyway. It's all one big gray soup. It used to be that self-published writers did not get a whole lot of respect. I mean, there was this air of,
oh, so you couldn't get your book actually published by real publishers? Oh, it must really suck then.
But that is beginning to change. I personally have not seen a whole lot of prejudice against self-published writers from industry writers. Now, granted, everyone's experience is different, but that's what I'm seeing. And I was talking with my mom about this, who like has been in this industry for like 20 plus years, and she has also noticed a definite change in attitude towards self-published writers. There's a growing consensus in the writing community that we're all writers, traditionally published or otherwise. Barring a handful of jerks, I haven't seen or even heard of a whole lot of infighting about this. It's really rather pleasant. That is the difference between industry and indie writers. Please let me know your thoughts and questions in the comments below. Thank you so much for bearing with me as I scramble to put something together for you. Normal video format and style should resume next time. Bye, lovelies.